There we go. As I was saying, hello. Hi, Mark. I'm just trying to do a review of Toothpick Ted's latest performance, as well as Hazel's, as well as Bryan Money Shot. I got their permission to do that, and it will just go to show how the difference. They have different styles of shooting, but they all use the power shot, and there is so much to be learned by what they do, and so much more to learn, I guess, from that and from the results that they got. So I'm just going to be sort of pausing the video where I think it's relevant. The first part of each video is going to be for consistency. I cut the videos down to just the throw, the technique, just for you guys to see that every shot is almost identical. So that's very important to look at more than anything else in terms of, establishing whether somebody's a consistent shooter, somebody's an experienced shooter, somebody's working on this craft or not. So let's try it out, see how it works or not. I'm not sure whether it's going to work well, but let's see. So first up, we've got Toothpick Ted.
Let's go. Hard hair. There we go.
Very, very short. I want you to notice something that I've noticed with a certainty of something like 95% certainty, that it's his right die that is producing that 6. So he's shooting a 5-4-5-4 set consistently, never changes set. I believe that's, hardways are he's very comfortable with them, and he's producing the off-axis 6, which makes him very confident to continue in that set. Now you will notice also that within 5 shots or 6 shots, he hits the toe, simply because of that 6. Let's continue with the throw and see how that goes. I need to stop that for the 5. He got the 5 out of that because I noticed in the whole video he kind of switched position from here to, he moved a little bit further back. And something else I noticed about Ted is that he's putting his body straight to the table, sort of 90 degrees to the back wall, and that actually may, I'm not sure, may strain his neck when he's turning around to see where he's sending the dice. But let's continue.
Yes! Yeah!
He throws the dice with so much velocity that they hit the base. I'm 90% sure that they hit the base of the back wall and produced an ace on the left die. So that was an explosion of both dice, giving him a 167. Now, if I was to choose a set for Ted, I wouldn't change a thing. I think he's very comfortable with his 5-4-5-4. Perhaps I would turn the dice to a 6-5-6-5 set or a 6-4-6-4 set, but most probably 6-5-6-5, simply because on the side he will find a 4, which means that most of his results will be in line with his bets, and from his bets I could see that he was not happy getting a lot of 10s and a lot of extreme numbers. Therefore, the only advice I would say is keep the mechanics exactly the same. Perhaps, worst case scenario here is move your right foot slightly back, simply because by being straight to the table, you're creating a strenuous position for your neck. You look at the landing zone at the last moment, and your core may not be comfortable enough. That's the only two things I could say about that. An excellent shooter, very good in terms of what he does at the table, very, 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 very confident, and rightly so. We move on to Hazel. With Hazel, I was just going through consistency. Let's see. Let's take it from here.
Hard four. Marty. Square.
The guys.
6, 8. Yeah, it's hard. It's mostly good out. 8, 10.
I saw my beautiful sister.
Hard four. Hard. Any pair. Yeah!
She understands that her landing zone should be a little bit left, but not so much left. So she's trying all the time to do that. When she hits that landing zone, which is a bit further away from the right hook, so she's going right. As soon as she realizes that, she's trying to hit that, and her results become more on axis.
Pair. 9. Marty. Yeah! 9. Square pair.
Pair.
4, 4. 4, 4.
Something happens. What happened was, in her shot, she started going towards her body a little bit, and then when she threw the dice, she was throwing them at the curve towards the right hook, towards the right side of the table. But overall, I would say very consistent shooter, very confident shooter, and you will see in the longer version of the video why I say this, because a lot of mishaps were happening at the table. She was trying to hold the dice very sort of softly, and there were two incidences where she dropped one of the dice, but she got her focus back and she threw amazing numbers after that. Now we go on to Bryan. We all know how Bryan throws, and it's no different here. Unfortunately, the camera angles were not really helping me with this, but do that the way he throws the dice. It's just
I never.
to go to landing. Very precise.
Yo!
Right. To the right, to the right. Never short.
Yeah!
Okay, and here's something that I want to blame Bryan about, and it's not a blame. He started with a 4-2-4-2 set, and he got a 2-1-3. For me, that is a really good result. Why? Because it's off axis. And then he went on 4-2-4-2. He got, I think, a 4-5-9, which was on axis. And that gave him, or a 5-4-9, that gave him the wrong message. It gave him the message that I go down on axis, I should be on a 6-5-6-4. And from then on, he goes on to a 6-5-6-4, gets a hard 4, believes that that's the right way forward. In my opinion, getting a hard 4 is a warning. Then he gets a hard 8, another warning. Because you're off axis with a 6-5-6-4, you're not supposed to be getting these hard ways. You're supposed to get 12s, you're supposed to get aces, you're to get 5-4, or 2-3, and he's getting all these wonderful numbers. Then he gets the 4-2-6, or in my opinion it was a 2-4-6, which is a double pitch. So I'm thinking bells are ringing. Plus, on top of that, the last indicator, even if you don't know whether it's a 4-2 or a 2-4, look at the numbers that landed. It's a 4 and a 2. Where is your 6 and where is your ace? So my advice in that case would be quarter turn your dice in order for the next result to contain an ace or a 6.
Yes!
He didn't get the 7th, which was a 5-2-7. So, in my opinion, Bryan is very consistent, but I think in that particular instance he made a wrong choice of sets. And I don't blame him at all. Hi SJ, hi guys. I don't blame him at all for doing that, because when you're caught in the moment, you are asked to make these sort of difficult decisions of how to go forward with your sets, if indeed you do make those choices to change sets. My advice would be, it's the best choices you have to actually change sets. You have 490 plus different sets to choose from, and I believe that this is the way you should do it. You know, use your sets, use your knowledge to prolong your role at the table. One set will not do everything. Same with Toothpick Ted. I would say to him, he was getting a lot of 6s from the right die. He couldn't say that it was the right die, obviously, but he was getting a lot of 6s on hardways. Therefore, he could have chosen to correct that to get some more inside numbers if he so wished. But I think he did wish that, because I looked at his bets, and the bets were not really aligned with the dice set used. So if he had the 6s on top, he would have the 4 on the side. Let's say 6-5, 6-5 set. Like so. Whoops, you can't see it. And you have the 4s on the side. So if you get an implosion of your right die, it gives you 6-4, 5-4, 1-4, 2-4. So he was probably looking for those numbers, especially the last 3 I mentioned. And that would have been the only adjustment I would make, because if he stayed on the 5-4, 5-4, and he opened up the dice, it would be a 1-6. If he did that on a 6-5, 6-5 set, they would open up to reveal a 3-4, 7. So the 7s are the same. It's just a choice of sets that you can use in order to align your results with your bets. So let's go and see. Hi Jeff. Let's go now and have a look at the larger video, which is, you know, it gives you a bit more context to everything that happened. Let's go here and let's start it.
All three?
Are you guys
Let's go. Hard hair. There we
The 4 is 10. Grab 60. Top of the 5s.
Yeah, I lost $1,000 yesterday between all kind of games.
Oh.
Okay, $500 lead, on slides. I can't. Well, for me, like, it's just like I only gamble heavy because I don't get the opportunity. But I'm living here, I don't gamble. I don't nowhere near as much as I would because I like so many other things. Like, this is my only time to disconnect. The rest of my time with work. I'm so
Watch the guys right at the last moment. Look, he's straining his neck to look at the landing zone. So this is part of the position. He chooses to have both feet sort of 90 degrees to the landing zone. So this creates a problem for the core. What if my right foot went backwards? So as you're looking at me, it's like this, but go back a little bit so that you create this movement of your body which makes it more comfortable for your neck and of course for the toes. Let's continue. Right by 6. He gets
You're not playing. Oh, okay. Let's go, Ted. Maybe I gotta change it up. I gotta call him. Let's go, Tio. Let's go, Tio.
Let me just go back. See if I can catch.
Let's go, Ted. Maybe I gotta change it up. I gotta call him. Let's go, Tio.
There. He stays on that side.
Let's go, Theo. Yes. Change it up.
My frisbee ball. Press you however you like.
just sitting over there in the corner.
Of course, I don't expect him to double pitch. The way he's trying to go enough
Nice.
6'9", the 6 year old. Guys are just going very well.
Yeah.
He's doing a bit more. In my opinion, if you lean more into the table and you create this movement of, throwing the dice with the intention of creating more control, what you're actually doing is creating more energy for them. So he misses his landing zone, hits what I would think was the base of the back wall, and then he creates this explosion of both dice. Very good shooter, not a lot I can say, but very good. Okay, we have Hazel now. Now in this section I think you will see, I would say, something very different. Women have a very different way of processing things, and they run by emotion and all that. So she is doing something so consistently and taking in at the same time all the vibe of the table, and you will notice that it's just unbelievable how she was.
Let's see if I can even hold the dice.
He's not G money today. He's G with my money.
G lose.
He is a monster, that's
Yeah, I saw it. He posted it up. You'll get him back after.
where you standing?
I like your comment.
Check it out.
Hey, don't forget. One dice. Guaranteed.
I saw my beautiful sister this one.
I think she's locked into that landing zone. Yeah.
Oh, it's doing it again.
Check it out.
What is going on?
Hardcore. Let's go.
Line, I watched it in slow motion.
Any pair.
Okay.
She realizes that, and I think she's about to
Take it.
when she goes to park and go on YouTube, it's the same
Pair.
She does that.
Nice.
Now he's trying to play with your money. Never learn, bro.
Marty.
You guys at least got to get from what's there.
Perfect landing. She knows it. I think she realizes that this is my landing.
Let me get like shooting.
And she needs it.
Square pair.
Pair.
Not just the Mrs. America, it's the Mrs. America, the MRS America.
Mrs.
What's that thing?
That's how you're supposed to do it.
$7. $4. I'm gonna put that down.
MRS.
Kung Fu D is ready. Kung Fu already a Kung Fu pen. 4-4.
Selection on that.
That's where I get worried. When I think
Okay, free throw that.
rectify landing zone. And she does that, but unfortunately,
4-4.
double punch.
Go.
So, let's just stop there. And just talk a little bit about, Hazel. So she uses one set 4-2-4-2. She gets the results that she wants. She doesn't double pitch the dice at all. And slowly through all that mayhem that's going on around her, she's hitting numbers and getting excited. She finds, the tranquility to be focused. And this is one of the traits of a good shooter. If you're calm within yourself, regardless of what's going on or whether you're taking part in the celebrations around you, she was calm enough to actually do the job, to throw the dice exactly the same way every time, to focus and find the landing zone, which is the right landing zone. So these are very good traits indeed. And there were some points where she sort of touched the dice so lightly that one of the dice fell out of her hands, the right die. But you know, immediately she got the dice, threw something amazing. So, you know, this is the parts that people cannot teach you. You have to, you know, you have to be good at this. All right, so we have Bryan. Bryan starts with a 4-2-4-2 set.
Who's playing?
He gets a 2-1-3, which is a pass.
I never.
Let me get up on the table.
I can see that he's getting his opponent. But he says, because he's come out, I'm going to try again. In my opinion, the second set should have been a 2-1-2-1.
Yo.
So he gets a 5-4-9.
Mine.
So that's success. What does Bryan do? He says, okay, I had one off axis, one on axis. I am going to be on axis. Therefore, I'm going to 6-5, 6-4. And in my opinion, regardless of the of his mechanics, which are very, very good, very consistent, gets hard 4. Now, no need to tell me that 6-5, 6-4, that's an off axis. He doesn't continue that. So, 2 out of 3 is also off axis. But what's affecting you is the vibe. It's a hard 4. Everybody's excited. So he thinks, yeah,
Thank you,
he's a
sir.
money maker kind of set, and that's what I'm going to do. My opinion is the guy to go to kissing sets or hardware sets. Yeah.
So you got to drive.
I can't see, and I have to, you know, say this. If this was a double pitch, because he was on a 6-5, 6-4 set. If this was a 2-4-6 result, then that was a double pitch. If this was a 4-2-6, it's an off-axis result. And he should take that seriously. Both results are equally dangerous in terms of what they mean to an experienced shooter. I am sure he was very much taken in the moment. You know, he got a good number. I think he was under a lot of pressure, and as soon as he got the 4-2-6, he shouted, "Yeah!" So I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying, you know, you need to sort of step back and see what you're doing, and whether it calls for you to take a different dice set family, whether it's kissing sets or whether it's hardware sets, and it's simpler. You see now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 numbers. 5 numbers with 4 of them potentially off axis. 1 off axis. So that should tell you something. And we go. And he sticks to the 6-5, 6-4.
I gotta get a trip back. There you go. Sorry, Bryan.
All right. The last result was an off-axis result. Okay, sorry about that. I thought that it was relevant to keep the casino action on as well, so that people could hear. But the idea is this. I believe that having looked at the mechanics and the consistency that Bryan showed during that throw, and I'm sure the pressure that he was under, being filmed, etc., and taking care of all these filming requirements and all that, we come to a point whereby he chooses a set. He wants to go with cross sixes, 6-5, 6-4. Perhaps in the past they worked for him. He gets a hard 4, he gets a hard 8. He gets the vibe of the table, but he forgets that these are off-axis results, which may cost him a 7. And surely enough, there's a 4-2-6 coming up. And then after that, the 2 repeats itself, but with a 5 this time. So he had 2 choices. Either to change the sets to a different family of sets and avoid that 7 to prolong his roll, or quarter turn his dice, both dice, so that at least he could see a 6 or an ace on the results. If we look back, I don't think he got a 6 or an ace on those results for some time. So that's the considerations that I would like to sort of share with Bryan, share with everybody, and this is what I'm trying to sort of pass along to everybody else. All 3 shooters unequivocally are 3 of the best, and watching them in action was such, it was a pleasure. Let me just see. So if one die is off axis, right? The idea is this: if you're on a 6-5, 6-4, or 6-5, 6-3, or any kissing set or any V set, what you want to see in the result is at least one of the hardways numbers. So on this set, which let's go this way, which has the 6s on top and the aces on the bottom, in your result you would very much like to see 1 6 or 1 ace. If you don't, just as your dice are sitting like that, quarter turn them and put them here. So your rotations are going to take you to the 6 or the 1. We're assuming, of course, that you are consistent in what you do. If you manage to do that, an off-axis result cannot be a 7. So if you get a 6 on one die and a 1 or a 1 on the other, you cannot make a 7 out of it. On a kissing set, I would say, right, so if we go to a 1-5, 6-5, which is a kissing 4 set, you open them up, you find the 4s. He would have not 7'd out for sure, because it was a 1 off-axis result. And 1 off-axis results on the kissing sets, as well as the hardways, cannot equal a 7. So these are the choices, and this is where I would say you need to be very focused, very calm, and I guess do a lot of processing in order to prolong your role. Guys, I'm never ever going to talk to you about controlling the dice. You practice enough, you develop enough muscle memory, you will throw in a certain way. Your characteristics cannot change because of a table, but what does change is the result. Therefore, you have 494 different sets to choose from to master that surface or that backward or that bounce. Anyway, I think it was one of those, for me it was a very, very nice sort of video to watch. I invite everybody to go back and watch the live one so you can get the full sort of understanding of what the vibe was. You're very welcome, CJ. You're very welcome. But at the same time, I just need to say something. It becomes very tiring. And in order for you to sort of have it as second nature, you need to practice it. You need to practice it at home, and you need to actually articulate those results and articulate your adjustments to the dice sets that you're going to make. At home, I preach always one thing: try as much as you can to sort of experiment with your mechanics. in what I said about toothpick Ted, for example, was this: a slight adjustment of his foot will make his toes a lot more comfortable. What I recommend for him to do is to just try it at home. If he doesn't feel that it's making any difference, he can always just put his foot back and go 90 degrees to the back wall, and that's it. But it's, that's the time where we experiment with mechanics at home. After we trust our mechanics, we go to the casino and we have a library of sets that we can use to overcome what our mechanics are doing to the table and to the dice. Okay, thank you so much for that. I'm going to shut this down and probably come back and do my own practice. I'm like a pirate on one leg. Well, as long as you have it practiced, that should be good enough. CJ. Troy. Love this concept as it's very informative and exactly what we need more of. Being able to understand what we're tossing and how to correct them. You're welcome. I understand that, but CJ, let me just put it to you like this. If anybody is challenged in any way in terms of, let's say, height, or in my case, I'm developing a huge stomach and a back problem and this and that and the other, or you might have an injury with your arm, you have to find a way to overcome it, and the only way to do this by practicing away from a table as opposed to practicing for real money. Learn to do these things methodically, religiously, repeat. Learn to trust them. Once you trust them, learn what sets you have available to you to use and practice all those sets. The reason being, you might find yourself at the casino throwing just one set because you're very familiar with the 4-2-4-2 set and it's not working for you on that particular day. Always practice before you go so that you trust all the sets at your disposal, because they are at your disposal. Guys, thank you so much. I'm going to shut it down, and in a minute I'll be back to do my practice. Thank you very much, and I just want to say a big thank you to Bryan, his wife, and Ted for allowing me to air this. I don't think they'll find anything negative about what I said, but if there was something negative, I would certainly say so, because I have nothing to gain or lose. I'm just trying to make and share what I see with other people. All right, thank you very much. Yeah, that was a nice one, CJ. I think it was one of my goals, but just like the other day when I threw a 43 here, I didn't make enough money simply because I chose to be comfortable as a shooter as opposed to being comfortable as a rich man. So anyway, there's always, a give and take between those two. How high are your bets? How long is your roll? Yeah, he was very right. I did not. I think I made about 3,000, and probably anybody who was sort of pressing, even conservatively, would have made a bit more money than me anyway. Just keeping it real, guys. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Going to make myself some coffee and see you in a bit for practice. Dice are out.